Royal guards have just uncovered a hidden storage room inside the palace, and it's located right behind Queen Camilla's private quarters. What they found inside: jewels, sealed letters, and a locked safe. No one can open. The palace is silent. The media is exploding. This is no ordinary discovery. Discovery Day. Guards stumble on the hidden chamber. It all began during what was supposed to be a routine security sweep inside one of the lesser-used wings of the royal residence. A small team of royal guards, likely checking for structural issues or updating internal maps during minor renovations, came across something that didn't belong. A door hidden behind a tapestry. No handle, no markings, no record in the official blueprints. It immediately raised eyebrows. Out of procedure, they carefully opened it only to find a narrow passage leading into complete darkness. The air was thick and still, dust hanging like a curtain. This was no broom closet. This was a sealed-off chamber, one deliberately left out of public knowledge. The guards, experienced but visibly rattled, switched music off any mobile devices and kept cameras down. According to palace protocol, such discoveries should be reported quietly, but this room was unlike anything they dealt with before. One guard reportedly whispered, "This isn't just storage. This was meant to stay hidden." Within minutes, word began to spread among inner palace staff. No official announcement, no immediate lockdown, just whispers in hallways, music sideways glances, and one undeniable truth. Something had been discovered that wasn't meant to be found. And as the door creaked open for the first time in what appeared to be decades, it became clear this wasn't just about dust and forgotten furniture. It was the start of a mystery that could shake the royal household, and it was only the beginning. Because once they stepped inside, what the guards found on those aging walls and silent crates left even the most experienced among them speechless. The hidden room, what the walls revealed. The space behind that hidden door wasn't large, but it was packed with mystery. The chamber, narrow and dimly lit, had no windows, no furnishings, and no signs of modern upkeep. This wasn't a guest room or utility space. Music, it looked like it had been abandoned for decades. Thick dust coated every surface, and even the air felt stale, music untouched, unmoved, as if time had stood still. Lining the walls were heavy wooden crates, iron-bound trunks, and vintage storage chests, all unmarked with no official palace inventory tags. That alone was suspicious. In a royal residence, music, where everything is logged, cataloged, and tracked, the absence of any documentation was a red flag. One of the guards reportedly muttered, "Why isn't any of this on record?" Adding to the intrigue, a rolled-up corridor map was found tucked music behind a chest, aged and yellowing with markings that suggested this room had once connected to a now sealed-off passageway. Was this part of an old escape tunnel, a forgotten wing, or something more deliberately hidden? Even the architecture told a story. Cracks in the stone, an older style of molding, nails that hadn't been used since the mid-1900s. Whoever shut this place down didn't just forget about it. They erased it, and yet, despite the dust and silence, it didn't feel like a junk room. It felt deliberate, like someone once chose this space to be sealed, guarded by silence. But it was what sat inside those sealed crates: the long, forgotten treasures, music, locked documents, and one mysterious safe that truly sent the palace music into a spiral. The contents, jewelry, documents, and royal relics. As the guards began to inspect the mysterious crates and trunks, what they found inside was nothing short of breathtaking music and more than a little suspicious. The first chest, large and bound in rusted iron, creaked open to reveal a collection of ornate jewelry boxes. Inside them were dazzling, gem-encrusted brews, music antique bracelets, and what appeared to be vintage royal pieces, the kind not seen in public collections or on display for decades. Next came leather-bound folders sealed with old wax stamps, some bearing initials and insignias long faded. These weren't decorative. These were documents, possibly private letters, royal correspondences, or even political notes from previous reigns. One palace staffer reportedly whispered, "These look like they were hidden on music purpose." Even more startling were the photographs, black and white images, some showing gatherings of royals, others depicting rooms and people not easily identifiable. Were these forgotten family moments or photos never meant to reach the public eye? Several crates held dusty textiles, including luxurious silks, velvets, and pieces resembling ceremonial robes or historical uniforms. Some had embroidery matching older royal crests, suggesting they may have belonged to past monarchs or consorts, perhaps even garments from coronations or secret state events. But one item stood out above all: a small locked safe bolted into the floor of the room. Its surface music was scorched and worn, and no one knew the combination. That's when the guards knew this wasn't a storeroom. This was a vault, and whatever was in that safe might hold secrets no one was supposed to find. And once the existence of this room became known beyond the security team, the panic spread fast, turning a private discovery into a palace-wide emergency. Immediate fallout: guards, panic, palace goes silent. The moment the contents of the hidden chamber were revealed, the mood inside the palace shifted dramatically. What began as a routine inspection had now exploded into something far more serious, a situation that even the most experienced staff didn't know how to handle. The guards, trained in protocol and discretion, found themselves caught between duty and fear. As one insider put it, they weren't just guarding a door anymore. They were guarding a secret. Music. By the time word of the discovery reached senior royal staff, the energy inside the palace was already tense. Doors near the location were quietly sealed off. Access was suddenly restricted. Only a handful of people were permitted near the site, and those who were spoke of a silence so heavy it felt unnatural. Staff members in nearby halls were told to keep away music until further notice. No reasons given, no explanations offered. Behind the scenes, the internal chain of communication activated swiftly, but even there, confusion reigned. The guards hesitated to submit a full music report, fearing repercussions or possible blame. After all, they had uncovered a room that, according to palace records, shouldn't have existed. Was this a royal oversight, a cover-up, or something darker? As whispers began to circulate, the rumor mill exploded. Some staff questioned if they'd stumbled upon state secrets hidden away to protect reputations. Others feared the documents inside might contain personal letters, the kind that could damage legacies if leaked. There were even suggestions of scandal. What if it's something they didn't want the king to know? One junior aide reportedly said, outside the palace walls, it didn't take long for speculation to spread. The British press, always on alert for anything unusual, picked up on unusual movements and restricted access areas. Satellite images showed music, extra patrols, and blacked-out windows. The silence from the palace, no denial, no clarification, only fueled the mystery. As the dust settled, one thing became crystal clear. This wasn't just an old room filled with forgotten objects. This was something that could reshape royal narratives depending on what was inside, and who it ultimately belonged to, and as attention turned to that critical question, the ownership of the room, all eyes landed squarely on one woman. Who could it belong to? Speculation swirls around ownership. As the palace scrambled to contain the situation, one burning question took center stage. Who did the room belong to? The answer wasn't clear, but the location of the hidden chamber tucked behind a corridor connected to Queen Camilla's private quarters, music sent rumors into overdrive. It was an unsettling coincidence, or perhaps not a coincidence at all. Some insiders immediately speculated that the room had been used by Camilla herself, either as a personal archive or a quiet storage space for things too delicate for public music display. One royal aide reportedly remarked, "No one would place something this private in a part of the palace music unless they wanted to keep it very close." That remark alone sparked suspicion. Others pushed back, arguing that the room's age and condition made it unlikely to belong to Camilla. The dust, the untouched crates, and the vintage design of the room suggested it had been sealed long before she officially joined royal life. Could it have been part of a forgotten royal wing, perhaps once used by a previous consort or a former monarch? There were even theories more sensational than proven that the room may have served as a secret archive, possibly to store sensitive letters, heirlooms, or even scandalous material that the royal family never intended to see. Daylight items removed quietly, hidden away from official inventories and buried with time, but in the absence of clear ownership, everything became Camilla's problem by proximity. With her name now linked to the chamber, the public narrative began to shift. Was she guarding a secret? Was she even aware of what lay behind those walls? To make matters worse, the palace's continued silence music only deepened the uncertainty. Without a firm statement, the media and royal watchers filled in the blanks themselves. Music and many pointed to Camilla as the likely figure behind the room's existence. As one headline boldly asked, why was a secret room full of hidden treasures located right behind Queen Camilla's quarters, and why didn't anyone know? And it was that explosive question that led to a media frenzy, a full-blown storm that no one inside the music palace could stop. Media storm, rumors go viral, headlines explode overnight. Within hours, the whispers inside the palace had made their way to the outside world, and by morning, the story had erupted into a full-scale media firestorm. The British tabloids wasted no time. Headlines like, "Camilla's secret vault discovered," "Hidden room behind royal walls," and "What is the palace hiding?" dominated front music pages. The tone wasn't curiosity, it was accusation. Across social media, the story exploded. Royal watchers, conspiracy theorists, and content creators began posting theories, mock floor plans, music, and insider leaks, none of which were confirmed, but all of which went viral. Hashtags music like #Camilla Vault, #Royal Secrets, and #Hidden Music Room started trending globally. Dramatic YouTube thumbnails showed glowing treasure chests, blurred royal faces, and bold titles like "Shocking Truth Behind the Door." The palace's refusal to issue a clear denial only added fuel to the fire. With no hard facts released, media outlets had free rein to speculate. Some claimed the room was filled with Diana's lost letters. Others suggested it held evidence of past royal music cover-ups, while a few took it even further, whispering about missing jewels, illegal gifts, or damaging personal items. Meanwhile, oil experts appeared on talk shows, urging caution. "We don't know what's in that room," one historian stated, but the location, secrecy, and timing make this more than just an old storage space. That comment alone sent speculation even higher. International media began to circle too, with US music and European outlets calling it one of the most mysterious royal discoveries in years. And still not a single music, royal spokesperson stepped forward to clarify the story. With no facts confirmed and the visuals hidden from the public, the mystery itself became the story. The fewer the answers, the bigger the questions became. As one tweet that gained over 2 million views read, "If the room was innocent, why is everyone being so quiet?" But as outside voices roared louder, those inside the palace had no choice but to respond, and what they said only deepened the mystery further. Official response: silence, denial, or damage control. Music as pressure from the press reached boiling point. The royal household finally broke its silence. But instead of clarity, they delivered a carefully worded statement that raised even more eyebrows. A senior palace spokesperson simply said, "No sensitive or state items were discovered. All contents are being reviewed. Privacy will be respected. That was it. No list of items, no confirmation of who the room belonged to, just enough to respond, but not enough to satisfy anyone." Internally, however, things escalated quickly. A private task force was immediately formed to inventory the room's contents, music, but according to insider reports, only a handful of senior royal staff were allowed music access. Even longtime palace employees were kept out. Entry points were blocked off. Guards were rotated, and security was visibly increased around that section of the residence. The message was loud and clear. This was no ordinary storage room, and the palace was treating it as a serious situation, but only behind closed doors. Meanwhile, royal watchers noticed subtle changes. Certain windows were blacked out. Public tours were quietly rerouted. Staff who usually spoke freely to friendly reporters suddenly went completely silent. One former royal aide told the Telegraph, "If they're going quiet, something big is being protected." Still, no direct answers were given about the locked safe inside the room, the one item every outlet was now focused on. What's in it? Who locked it? Why has it never been mentioned? With no statement regarding the safe at all, speculation reached new heights. Critics called it a classic palace move, a tight-lipped strategy meant to avoid scandal, but one that always seemed to backfire in the modern age of information leaks. And 247 headlines, as one royal analyst put it bluntly, they didn't shut down the rumors, they made them worse. And right on cue, the leaks began. Whispers from behind palace doors hinting that what lay hidden might be far more personal and possibly scandalous. Inside music, leaks, whispers of scandal, secrets, and cover-ups. It didn't take long before leaks started slipping out music from inside the palace, not from official sources, but from those lower down the chain. Aides, cleaning music staff, former guards. Whispers began to spread, and they were more than enough to ignite a new wave of scandalous theories. According to one anonymous tip, music, some of the documents inside the room were personal letters, not state-related, but deeply private music and potentially damaging. There were rumors of romantic correspondence, handwritten notes, and sealed envelopes addressed to names that haven't been mentioned in public for years. One staffer reportedly said, "You don't lock love letters in a safe unless they could cause trouble." Even more curious was the jewelry. While some pieces' music looked like historic heirlooms, others were completely unaccounted for in official royal inventories. One insider noted that several pieces appeared to be missing their original cases, leading to suspicions that the collection may have once been much larger. Was this a hidden royal stash or evidence of something that was meant to be quietly tucked away? Then came the claims about the locked safe, still unopened, still unexplained. A former security advisor told reporters if there's one item they're worried about, it's that music safe. Nobody's talking. And that's a red flag. Speculation online exploded. Was it blackmail material, family secrets, forgotten history, or something tied to the late Queen Diana, or even foreign affairs? Adding to the tension, Several well-known conspiracy forums and royal gossip blogs claimed to have sources music confirming the contents were connected to past cover-ups. No evidence was presented, but the story had gone too far. People believed what they wanted to believe. Meanwhile, news outlets kept publishing unnamed insider quotes with phrases like explosive revelations, potential embarrassment, and materials that could change how the monarchy is remembered. And with the palace refusing to confirm or deny these leaks, the public was left to draw its own conclusions. As one viral comment put it, "Whatever they're hiding must be more damaging than the headlines already out there." And if even a fraction of those whispers are true, it's not just Camilla's reputation at stake. The entire royal family could feel the fallout. What this could mean for the royal family: reputation, trust, music, and rumors. The discovery of the hidden chamber and everything it might contain music has done more than stir up headlines. It's now threatening to shake the foundation of the royal family's carefully protected image. If even a portion of the leaked rumors turn out to be true, music, the consequences could be historic. First, there's the issue of reputation. For decades, the monarchy has operated under a delicate balance: tradition, formality, and privacy, but a secret room filled with personal artifacts, undisclosed documents, music, and a still locked safe. That instantly raises questions about what else has been intentionally hidden from the public. One royal expert commented, "The damaged music isn't in what's inside, it's in the fact that it was hidden in the first place." Then comes Queen Camilla's name, which has now been tied, fairly or not, to the room simply because of its location. Whether or not she had knowledge of the chamber, public perception is a different story. To many, proximity music equals ownership. And in a post-Diana era where Camilla has only recently gained broader acceptance, music, this discovery could reignite old controversies and undermine her current standing. There are also internal trust issues. Staff music are reportedly divided, some concerned about potential fallout, others angry they were kept in the dark. This fuels long-standing whispers about inner palace factions, divided loyalties, and who knows what behind closed doors. If information continues to leak, it could reveal not just secrets, but rivalries and fractures within royal operations themselves. And for the public, it adds another layer to the already growing fascination with royal secrecy. Music, the idea that more rooms like this might exist, filled with untold history, unerived letters, or items deliberately hidden, only increases the belief that the royal family lives by its own rules beyond public accountability. As one headline put it, "A locked room behind palace walls, now an unlocked door into royal doubt." But even as questions swirl and reputations hang in the balance, the most pressing mystery still remains unanswered. What's inside music, the safe, and will the world ever know? The big mystery. Still, will the truth ever be revealed? Despite the chaos, the leaks, and the growing public pressure, one thing remains sealed, literally and figuratively. The safe, the small rusted box bolted to the floor of the hidden chamber, is now the center of global speculation. What's inside? That question has no answer, at least not yet. The palace has refused to confirm whether the safe has even been opened. No statements, no denials, no updates, and music that silence speaks volumes. In the absence of facts, the mystery has taken on a life of its own. Some believe the safe holds deeply personal letters. Music, others think it may contain sensitive documents, the kind that could rewrite royal history. A few theorists even believe it's tied music to foreign diplomacy, hidden scandals, or unfinished affairs from music decades past. But whether the contents are dramatic or disappointingly dull, the impact has already been made. As one commentator put it bluntly, the moment the palace hid the truth, the safe became bigger than whatever it holds. Media outlets continue to probe. Reporters chase staff for any clues. Royal biographers are already drafting chapters, and the public waits, obsessed with what they don't know. The longer the silence continues, the more the story grows. Behind closed doors, the royal family must now decide. Reveal the truth and face possible embarrassment, or keep it hidden and fuel endless suspicion. Neither option is easy. Both come with risk, and perhaps that's the most shocking part. Not what's in the safe, but what it represents. A locked box behind a locked door in a palace built on secrets. It's the music-perfect symbol for a monarchy at war with transparency in a world that no longer tolerates shadows. So for now, the chamber remains sealed, the contents music unconfirmed, and the truth just out of reach. But make no mistake, the world is watching, and until the safe is opened, this royal mystery is far from over. In the end, it may not be what's inside the room that matters most, but what the royal family is willing to hide to keep it there. With the safe music still unopened and no answers from the palace, questions only grow louder. What is Queen Camilla hiding? Who really owns the room? Until the truth comes out, the world is left guessing. One thing's certain, this hidden chamber has unlocked a royal mystery no one saw.